My favorite thing about Life is Strange has always been the amount of care and detail that the developers put into the series. I am a huge fan of Easter eggs, and whenever I play a new game, I'm always on the hunt for any and all details and environmental storytelling I can possibly find. Life is Strange 1 does both of these things masterfully, and with the return of Max Caulfield on the horizon, I thought I'd go back to where it all started and share all of the Life is Strange Easter eggs, secrets, and rare scenes that I know of with you all. Whether you're a hardcore Life is Strange fan or recently wrapped up your first playthrough, I hope you enjoy this video and maybe even discover something new. We'll be starting with Life is Strange Episode 1, Chrysalis. Disclaimer for spoilers in Life is Strange. Let's get into it. We all know that Jefferson is the baddie of Life is Strange 1, but what if I told you that the game literally tells you this at the very beginning? When Max is in class during her photography lecture, Jefferson says this.
Seriously though, I could frame any one of you in a dark corner and capture you in a moment of desperation. And any one of you could do that to me. Isn't that too easy? Too obvious? What if Arbus chose to capture people at the height of their beauty or innocence? She had a brilliant eye, so she could have taken another approach.
Also, he looks right at Max when he says that. Makes my skin crawl. Insane, right? But this isn't the only foreshadowing that we get in the first scene. If we take a closer look at Kate's notebook, we can see early warning signs about her depression and the events of episode 2. There are drawings of a noose hanging from a tree with blood underneath, a bloody angel, and the words waste and so lonely. This drawing was removed in Life is Strange Remastered.
You can never escape the lighthouse here.
The lighthouse is an important location for both Max and Chloe. It's not only where our story begins, but it's also where Max confides in Chloe for the first time about her power, and the location of the final and most important decision of the game. Lighthouses are commonly used in media to symbolize a beacon of hope, safety, and guidance. Another game that utilizes the lighthouse in a similar way is Alan Wake, which may have influenced the beginning of Life is Strange.
So yes, it began with a dream.
Were you aware that Max's power contains secret dialogue from the future? If you play the rewind audio backwards so that it plays forward, you can make out bits of conversation from scenes that haven't happened yet.
He was babbling like crazy.
Okay, slow down. Slow down.
Thanks for taking the heat. We totally smacked his punk ass down, Max.
Damn. Chloe was kicked out of Blackwell 2 years ago. She used to be a great student.
I see you, Max Caulfield. Don't even think about leaving here until we talk about your entry.
I did it.
Can you give
I
me an
actually
example
did
of
it.
a photography?
Just as the Don't Nod logo pops up, Max nods. Twice. What a rebel.
I love that picture of Mom and Dad. Hello, Jack. Kiss, kiss. Andy, you look totally fabulous, as usual.
Max is referring to Andy Warhol and I believe Jack Kerouac.
Railroad tracks always make me feel better. I have no idea why.
Kerouac knew. It's the romance of travel and movement. The sound of the train whistle at night.
Look at the beat poet here.
Also, did you know that Max's locker just so happens to be right across from where Chloe's is in Before the Storm? Talk about soulmates. The blue butterfly, aka Chloe's spirit incarnate, closely resembles a real-life butterfly species known as the Morphodidius, which are commonly found in Central America, South America, and Mexico. A few fun facts about the species include that they are the largest of the morpho butterflies and some of the largest in the world. Only males are the full pretty blue structural color that we see here. Females typically have blue and brown color patterns, and in some cultures they are said to symbolize healing, spiritual transformation, and some believe that if you see one, it means that you are going to be granted a wish. Amaury Ballandier is the environment director at Don't Nod, and there are plenty of little subtle Easter eggs around the game that shout him out for his work as the lead environment artist during the development of Life is Strange. The most noticeable is on Jefferson's photograph that's showcased on the Blackwell campus. The name Amaury is featured in the background. Amaury also happens to be part of the Blackwell yearbook committee. Interesting. Chloe likes to drink a soda brand called PR Amaury. In the metal box underneath Chloe's bed, there is a postcard that we can kind of make out, but the game files reveal that it is signed by someone named, you guessed it, Amaury. Speaking of game files, did you know that one of Max's Polaroids that we see on Chloe's desk is actually the original box cover art for Life is Strange? Although it is partially obscured in game, here's the full image. Max's rewind affects clocks? What?
Room 217? No way in hell am I ever going in here.
Both Red Rum and Room 17 are references to Stephen King's The Shining. Although we can't enter the dorm bathrooms until episode 2, we can find a Max Easter egg on the showers open sign on the door there. Not only does the girl on the sign literally have Max's haircut, but she's also shown from behind, which reminds me of Max's iconic selfie. Max likes memes. So does Chloe.
Man, Kristen and Fernando were so drunk hanging on the Fremont Troll.
The Fremont Troll is an actual place you can visit in Seattle. The poster for The Winger and the Cow has a very similar design to the cover of The Catcher and the Rye, and The Catcher and the Rye's protagonist is named Holden Caulfield. Max's last name, Caulfield, was inspired by Holden's.
I'll miss going to the games with my dad. Go Thunderbirds.
This one is so interesting. We know that the plot of Life is Strange revolves around the storm that is set to wipe out Arcadia Bay. The Thunderbird is a legendary creature from Native American mythology that is said to be the embodiment of the elements, rulers of the skies and storms. Not only are they noble protective spirits, but they wield a power so fearsome that they can destroy entire villages. This is usually the consequence of wrongdoings, as Thunderbirds are enforcers of morality. Thunderbirds are commonly depicted on Native American totems, and we can see what looks like a Thunderbird on top of the Topanga totem, right outside of Max's dorm. The panda plushie that's on Lisa the Plant is Jax the Panda from Remember Me, Donut's first game.
Jax. This ad. I've heard it before.
That's a good sign, sister. It means your core memory resisted the treatment.
I just wanted to include this one because it's been a bit of a debate amongst the community since 2015. Don't Nod is a French studio, and out in Europe it's quite common for doors to lock this way, but in the United States that's not really how doors work. The majority of our doors tend to unlock from the inside, so is the door actually locked? Also, not to mention for a dorm, this would be a huge safety hazard, but I mean, it's Blackwell, so are we really even surprised? Kate's dorm room number is 222, which is an angel number. Further proof that she's a cinnamon roll?
That is a tasty plasma. Maybe I could sneak in and watch Final Fantasy Spirits Within. I don't care what anybody says, that's one of the best sci-fi films ever made.
Final Fantasy Spirits Within was rendered by Square Pictures, a consolidated subsidiary of Square Enix, the publisher of Life is Strange. Victoria has a signed copy of one of Jefferson's photographs in her room. I've always thought that this one is a reference to Kate Marsh, especially because of the bunny depicted in the photo and the hand on the shoulder. In episode 2, we learn that Kate has a pet bunny named Alice. Jefferson specifically goes after girls who fit the image of beauty and innocence. The rabbit, especially in Western art and children's literature, often symbolizes innocence and curiosity. Simba? The license plate Easter eggs are some of my favorites, and I find them all to be so cleverly done. If this happens to be new to you, the license plates in the Blackwell parking lot are references to popular movies and shows. Let's go through them, shall we? Chloe's truck is repping Twin Peaks, one of the shows that heavily inspired Life is Strange. It revolves around the murder investigation of Laura Palmer, a popular teenage girl who lived in the small town of Twin Peaks. What originally started as an investigation leads to the unraveling of a mystery surrounding both the town and its inhabitants. Sound familiar? The inspiration of Twin Peaks is strong in Life is Strange, even down to the finer details. Laura Palmer and Rachel Amber share the same birthday of July 22nd. In Twin Peaks, there is a Native American deputy chief named Tommy Hawk Hill who wears a single turquoise earring. Similarly, Rachel wears a singular turquoise feather earring, inspired by Native American culture. In the bed of Chloe's truck, we can find a box of Rachel Amber posters, an early hint that she was the one putting up the posters around campus. Warren's car has the X-Files, which I find very fitting given his love of science fiction.
Time can't just disappeared. It's a universal invariant.
Not in this zip code.
Nathan's car has 6 feet under, a family drama involving the complex struggles of relationships, grief, and mortality. One of the main characters of the show is named Nathaniel, aka Nate Fisher. Frank's license plate is Breaking Bad because of course it is. Other cars around the lot include Quantum Leap, Broadchurch, The Practice, The Wire, Parks and Recreation, The Sopranos, Carnival, The Twilight Zone, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. David's license plate is True Detective. Season 1 revolves around missing persons cases and the hunt of a serial killer. There's even more pop culture references in Chloe's bedroom. Everybody Lies, No Exceptions is a quote from Daria. This poster resembles the movie poster for The Thing. There's a The Girl with a Dragon Tattoo poster right above Chloe's bed, one of my favorite movies. Chloe's Misfit skull very closely resembles Lisbeth's skull shirt design from the Swedish version of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. There are theories that Chloe herself is inspired by Lisbeth, or even Emma from the French graphic novel and movie, Blue is the Warmest Color. I see why. I also want to point out the Eye of Providence, or the all-seeing eye, that's on the wall beside the height chart. The Eye of Providence in symbolism represents the eye of God that watches over humanity, and therefore observes humanity's actions and deeds. Although this could just be common graffiti, I find it interesting that the first time we see this drawing in-game is right before Max triggers her rewind power. Not only does her head align perfectly with this graffiti when she uses it for the first time, but it is then that the drawing shows up in other locations, almost as if it is following her. The Blackwell parking lot, Chloe's truck, and later in Chloe's bedroom. We know that Max literally has the power of a god, the ability to rewind time and manipulate the world around her in ways that would otherwise be impossible. The eye's purpose is to witness. Interpret that as you will.
If I'm not looking through a viewfinder, I'm looking through a window. Always looking.
Episode 1 of Life is Strange does an excellent job of exploring the dynamics between characters, specifically within the Price household. Although we gather more information on Chloe's relationship with Joyce in later episodes, Donut's environmental storytelling sets the stage for the tension that exists between Chloe and her parents, especially David. It's no secret that Chloe is not a fan of her stepdad, which can initially come off as empty rebellion, but there is more to Chloe and David's relationship that many people tend to miss. There is a scene in episode 1 that reveals that David is both verbally and physically abusive towards Chloe. In order to see this scene, Max needs to hide in the closet and stay hidden during Chloe's confrontation with David, or alternatively, blame Chloe.
Stop treating me and my mom like we're your family platoon!
Hey! Leave Joyce out of this!
I wish you'd leave Joyce! Like now!
Chloe, I'm sorry. I care about your mother, and you just keep pushing me.
Don't touch me again, asshole. That's the last time. Or I'll bring the cops in here so fast!
You're not that dumb.
I'd be smart to have you busted.
Chloe, someday you'll grow up.
Chloe says that's the last time, as if this has happened before. In episode 3 of Life is Strange, when Chloe is confronting David, he raises his hand towards her and she instinctively backs away. This detail can be easily overlooked, especially if you aren't aware of the previous scene in episode 1. Alternatively, if you do manage to hide and then step in to save Chloe, she reveals that she was the one who stole David's gun.
Joint.
Well. I don't like strangers in my home, especially dopers. So you're bringing drugs into my home. How about if I call the police? That'd screw up your spotless Blackwell record. You do seem to get around, Max. I'm sick of you losers dragging Chloe down. Missy, you sure do like to pop up and start trouble. Like this afternoon. You don't have anything smart to say now, do you?
Get the hell away from her, man. Stop harassing my friends.
You don't have any friends.
Like you know. You're not even a real cop. You're a fucking security guard.
I was a soldier, Chloe. And Max, if I see you here again, you'll learn all about real trouble.
Because you're such a badass, Max, let me show you my new toy. I'm Price. Chloe Price. Bang!
Jesus, put that thing down.
Chillax, sister. It's not even loaded. Yet.
I thought you believed in gun control.
Yes, I believe I should control the gun. It's the men who need to be checked. You trust Nathan or David? Thanks for taking the heat. We totally smacked his punk ass down, Max. He's no match for you and me now. That was an epic win.
This scene is quite rare since most people tend to run out of time when asked to hide. There are actually 2 variations to both of these scenes if you took the photo of Kate Marsh instead of stepping in to help her, making this version of the same scene even more rare since most people tend to defend Kate from David. In this scenario, Chloe uses the photo to her advantage.
By the way, I have proof you got all up in Kate Marsh's face today. Surveillance proof.
What? You best stay out of my work.
Then stay out of my life.
Chloe, someday you'll grow up. Oh, you're on a roll today. Between the fire alarm and now this. You don't have anything smart to say now, do you?
Get the hell away from her. I have proof you hassled Kate Marsh today.
What? What are you talking about?
I have surveillance proof. Now please leave us alone.
Okay, Chloe, you know everything. And Max, if I find you here again, it will be the last time.
Our final Easter egg for episode 1 can be found on the wall of the maintenance shed on the path to the lighthouse, and Max will even comment on them.
Weird. Those glyphs remind me of the wind.
These wind glyphs are a reference to a book written by Elaine Damasio, one of the co-founders of Don't Nod. The title is in French, so bear with me. La Route du Contrevent? The setting takes place on a frozen planet in which there are severe winds, oftentimes so forceful that it obliterates everything in its path. The story follows the 34th Horde of Wind Warders, who have been rigorously trained to traverse these dangerous conditions, and are the best prepared and most competent thus far, after previous packs have never completed an expedition. Their hope is to reach the ultimate upwind point, which is believed to possibly defeat the destructive winds that have hindered humanity, or it could possibly lead to the end of the world. Each paragraph starts with one of these symbols to let the reader know who's narrating. It's super complex and there's like 23 different characters, but there you go. I also think it's super cool that you can literally hear the wind in the background up here. Okay, that's all for what I believe are the most significant Easter eggs and secrets in Life is Strange Episode 1. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, please consider hitting subscribe and leaving me a comment. I have been absolutely mind blown by the support on the Life is Strange content, and I'm so thankful for all of you who check out the videos. I love these games so much, and I truly believe that the community is the best part about being a Life is Strange fan. Thank you so much for your support. It's been such an incredible journey so far. If I missed anything, or if you have any suggestions for the future, be sure to let me know as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.